Okay, greetings. I hope you're doing well. As you can see, this is a Mtech Knife MTA1043, a Chinese knife that you can get at a pretty affordable price. You see tons of these knives both on Amazon and eBay. And what's nice about them is that they are, definitely unique as far as, attractiveness and also utility. Sometimes when you consider the handle and the blade, right? In this case, this has I guess, a drop point, but you can see it's like almost like a kukri. Look at it, one of those South Asian type knives with a big belly. Um, with, of course, stands out as a serrated edge. It's all stone wash, which I like. It's a dark blade, and it came pretty sharp. But for this video, I'd just like to talk about when you buy one of these knives, and you start going on buying these sort of knives and maybe other knives, you'll notice that maybe they don't come sharp enough, or they lose their edge over time. Now, what I've learned, I've been doing this now for about a year, and what can I say? Yes, these are good knives. You can get them sharp enough, but you don't really need to drag them over a stone. There'll be a thing there, an attractiveness to buy a sharpening stone, but you really don't need to do that. What you really need to do with these knives, especially when this one's only less than a year old, is just strap them, and maybe hone them. Because unless it comes from the factory with some sort of edge defect, and it's easy to spot those and how to fix them. By an edge defect, I mean it's like let's suppose I should have bought another knife. Maybe I will get one, but you'll have a knife that is sharp in some areas but not sharp in others. Well, you can fix that on a sharpening stone. Make it all even. But let's say this knife for a fact it came sharp from the factory, but Chinese knives do not hold their edge as long as other knives. So what you have to do, or what you can do if you wish, or you can just keep buying Chinese knives when they lose their sharpness, is you have to strop them. Okay, and stropping is fine to do. Like in this case, I'm just doing it on my kitchen table, but you could probably do this while you're watching TV or something, because it's a repetitive exercise. You just have to do it over and over and over again. You drag the blade back and forth. And let me describe this thing first. Okay, this is like a $9 stropping piece of leather that I glued onto a board, right? And the reason it looks so discolored is because when you buy these things, you can get polishing compound. In this case, I got a additional green compound, right? And to apply that, what you do is, I'll show it to you 1 second, is you can, heat it on an alcohol stove if you have it here, or go to your stove, your regular gas stove. You have this, heat one end, get it hot, and then just rub it over it. But really, it's like a crayon. Just put on, light. You don't have to, use up the whole thing to get your thing board, because what happens is it gets hot when you drag the knife over it. So just apply some of this as you go. I guess when you first get the strop, just go ahead and apply a good amount, and then after that point, just little amounts. Whenever you feel it. Like this one, you can see some of it's crumbling off, which is fine. Look, by the amount of green on there, you can it still has a good amount of polishing compound on it. But if it were to get totally brown, then you might want to strop it on, or like this area, which you really don't use, it's starting to turn brown. You might color it up with the crayon a little bit more. Anyway, that's describing the board. And then really, this is an easy video. All I had to do is repetitive. Drag the blade over it. And the last thing I might add to this video, you might want to cut a piece of paper after 10 or 20, but don't even do that. I mean, just wait about 50 and then worry about cutting a piece of paper to see if the edge came back. And also, there's a better way than sharpening stone than the strop is because after you drag this thing over about 50 times, the way you can tell that you've affected the blade is that you can look at it in the light and it'll be shinier, all the way around. And that's better than I think than the sharpening stone, is that you can actually see the improvement of the blade, so you can know if you're getting anywhere with it. Just back and forth. I would say for about 30 minutes, so like a TV show, you're doing it. And then, you should get that edge right back to where it was. And by I mean by edge is that, easily cut paper. You can, scuff your nail a little bit, cut your, a little bit of razor work on your arm and so forth. But for Chinese knives, you're going to have to do this because of steel. There's other steels, of course, but I'm talking about, these $10 to $20 knives or less. And, just the last thing I'll say is you can get some nice knives from, $10 and under. You have to shop around. The thing is that, you will have to learn how to strop too. This might look clunky. Well, it's just because I'm trying to get it under the camera, all of it. But, if it was, you're sitting down or something, you could do, good arm work, free flowing, faster. And the last, that crossed my mind is like, you might want to buy a ceramic honing rod, right? Try that. But I believe that ceramic honing rods are only good for like kitchen knives. I mean, they're excellent for kitchen knives. For blades, like folding knives and fixed blades, for outdoor use, I think you'd rather strop because you get a much sharper edge. Ceramic's good, but stropping, you get a sharper edge. Okay, well, let me see. You're noticing some of this green's coming off fine. It's supposed to come off. Okay, let me see what we got. Wipe it off. You can wipe it off with a rag. And then if you really want to clean the blade off, I suggest using nail polish remover because that really gets any sort of fingerprints. I mean, you can put nail polish remover on some of these blades coming from China and they look, shiny, mirror sharp once you do that. Let me see. You get little bits here. Oh, I was going to show you a trick. Shoot, I threw this video together. But sometimes, when you do get a little bit of polishing compound, you can definitely take that off with a ceramic. Just a couple strokes. So let's see what we got. I'm going to try to do this. See if you can get. See? These blades are good. I know a lot of people criticize Chinese knives. I've seen the videos. But I mean, if you, you're not going to, I think, use this sort of blade every day. So it's going to be sharp enough. And, they have so many interesting designs. The way I try to get a knife now is, I really look at the handle because I want a good grip. But, the price and the blade shape, you always know you're at best you're going to get something like 440 steel. But they usually, they come with the supposed 7CR, whatever steel. And that's, of course, an inferior steel. So just the way it is. I mean, unless you're going to spend premium dollars for the D2 steel and so forth, which, you can do by any mat. But, this is just, I guess this video is just for how to sharpen up a Chinese knife, how to get it back to sharpness. Well, okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Bunto. Take care.